We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
There is a signal broadcast every second of every day. Look around the environment we live in. Carbon dioxide, fluorocarbons, and methane have increased. We are resourced to them. They want benign indifference. They want us drugged. We could be pets. We could be food. But all we really are is livestock. Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
Pure Raza, yo soy Ernesto Ayala and this is Aslan Weekly. We begin with noticias tristes posted on social media by our camarada Luz Schweig. I am saddened to share that our hermana and contributor to the recent Somos Chicanas anthology, Elisa Garza Leal of Poetry by Elisa A. Garza, passed away last Friday, October 17th, at the age of 57. Elisa was an inspiring poet, editor, teacher, and mother. Her full-length collection, Regalos, was a finalist for the National Poetry Series and received an honorable mention from this year's International Latino Book Awards for the Juan Felipe Herrera Best Book of Poetry. Our hermana Elisa also authored Between the Light, Entre la Claridad, and her latest poetry collection, Written in the Body, on her journey with cancer, published with Mouthfeel Press this year. Her poetry also appeared in Rogue Agent Journal, Ars Medica, the Santos Review, the Ekphrastic Review, the American Journal of Nursing, and Huizache, where it was nominated for the Pushcart Prize. In the last year of her life, Elisa founded and led the Memorial Herman Writing Workshop for cancer patients, survivors, and caregivers. In her virtual workshops, our hermana drew from poetry, images, and nature to inspire participants to explore their experiences. One of her writing prompts was, I am everything I was before cancer, and now I am even more than that. In Elisa's case, that was so true, as a resilient poet became very prolific after the cancer diagnosis, touching others along the way. I deeply admire the way Elisa engaged her creativity up until her passing, generously sharing herself through her poetry while inviting others to do the same. When we share, we validate each other's experiences, Elisa said. It becomes a sisterhood. We understand each other in a way that family or friends sometimes can't. I invite you all to honor our querida hermana Chicana Elisa A. Garza, who leaves behind a loving husband and 2 young daughters, by following in her footsteps and sharing your own creative voices without any fear or inhibition. Our voices are powerful, and now is the time to rise in that strength and lift Elisa's spirit with us. We will all miss that inspiring hermana Chicana poet. Que en paz descanse. Please explore Elisa's very inspiring, deeply personal books at mouthfeelbooks.com, as well as her contributions in Somos Chicanas at Riot of Roses Publishing House.com. Though I never met Elisa in person, I feel I got a glimpse into the beautiful person she was through her poetry. Elisa A. Garza, presente, Chicana power. Luz Schweig is a Chicana poet originally from Mexico, Tenochtitlan, and the visionary and editor behind the Somos Chicanas anthology project, which inspired a literary lucha of Chicana writers and poets raising their voices. Luz's own debut poetry collection will be dropping next spring with Mouthfeel Press. And news from our camarada Robert Ramirez desde Denver, Colorazlan. According to Denver's official government website, on October 15th, Mayor Mike Johnston announced that Denver joined more than a dozen other cities and counties in filing an amicus brief to support Planned Parenthood. This action pushes back against President Trump's big, beautiful bill, de puras pendejadas, which cuts critical funding for reproductive care. Mayor Johnston stated, "In Denver, we will always fight for the rights of women to access contraception and reproductive care." Governor Jared Polis also stepped up by signing a state bill to help keep providers like Planned Parenthood abierto. But with federal dollars being cut, state and local budgets are left stretched thin. This is not the first time Denver has stood up to protect our mujeres. The city has filed 4 lawsuits against El Trompas administration over unconstitutional funding cuts and joint briefs opposing the president's use of military forces in the United States cities. This moment is about more than politics. It's about ensuring our families, friends, and neighbors continue to have access to safe, life-saving care, regardless of income. Denver is making it clear we stand with our mujeres and reproductive justice. And in other news, our camarada Robert Ramirez reports, Denver stood in solidarity with the rest of the country for the No Kings rally as thousands gathered at the Capitol. Although the movement has been criticized highly from all political sides, it is good to see people of all backgrounds out there protesting whatever they feel is wrong with El Trompas administration. Abolish la migra y también down with authoritarian-style rule. Good news for low-income first-generation college applicants in the state of Utah. According to an article published at TelemundoUtah.com last week, the University of Utah announced its Utah Promise Scholarship, a new initiative to cover full tuition and mandatory fees for eligible in-state first-year students. To qualify for the renewable 4-year scholarship, applicants must have a family income under $100,000 and a minimum 3.5 high school GPA. By alleviating a significant financial barrier, the university aims to increase college accessibility for Utah's talented young people and broaden its student body. This program will begin with the fall 2026 academic year. Y noticias from our camarada Enrique Cardiel desde Burkey, Nuevo Mexicaslan, New Mexico. The New Mexico No Kings protest took place in downtown Albuquerque last Saturday afternoon. Burque's organizers and participants walked up Central Avenue, Route 66, from 2nd to 8th Street, across to Lomas Boulevard. There were also No Kings demonstration events in Santa Fe, Tijeras, Nuevo Mexico. Organizers described this No Kings anti-Trump movement as a response to authoritarian policies and disrespect for democratic institutions. And also in Santa Fe, Nuevo Mexico, thousands marched from the downtown plaza to the state capitol building, the Roundhouse. Speakers at the rally included local organizers, student activists, and indigenous leaders. Tengan en mente, this was the second major round of No Kings protests in 2025. The October rallies were organized by a broad coalition of progressive groups. It's estimated that nearly 7 million people attended more than 2,700 events across the nation, making it a potentially historic day for U.S. protests. In addition to focusing on the Trump administration's policies and alleged authoritarianism, protesters voiced a variety of concerns such as LGBTQ plus rights, immigration, crackdown, the federal government shutdown, and funding for universities. And news from Nevada. Good news for drivers in Nevada. Gas prices are dropping. According to a recent Gas Buddy survey cited by KTVN2 News, the average price of gasoline in Nevada has fallen by almost 5 cents per gallon over the past week. This continues a downward trend observed over the past month. Despite the recent dips, Nevada's prices remain higher than the national average. Courage average statewide price, $3.79 per gallon. And more news of the No Kings movement. There's a Oscar Ochoa in Texas. On October 18th, thousands joined No Kings protests across Texas and across the U.S. as part of the nationwide demonstrations opposing El Trompas' authoritarian-style practices. In Austin, marchers left the Texas Capitol after a peaceful rally, despite Governor Greg Abbott deploying the National Guard. Dallas-Fort Worth saw large turnouts in multiple cities despite rain, with marches along Elm Street. Houston protesters gathered at City Hall echoing similar messages. The No Kings slogan emphasized that America is a democracy, not a monarchy. Now we turn to our camarada Yvette Sochillo for migra-related news desde Orange County, Califa.
This week, I've documented one of the most coordinated enforcement surges across Orange County, aside from what happened at the beginning of the year. Between October 14 and 20th, at least 25 people were detained across 10 different areas, from La Habra in Anaheim to Santa Ana, Garden Grove, and San Juan Capistrano. Raids focused on jornaleros, car washes, taquerias, and even bus stops. Agents arrived in unmarked SUVs, of course, wearing plain clothes and green vests that marked police. They used fake customer phone calls as well to confirm who was working at the car wash before moving in. After the No Kings protest this weekend, the timing and scale of these operations point to obvious retaliation. A direct response meant to intimidate those who have been organizing and making ICE visible in the public eye. Families are also reporting that the ICE locator has been down for several weeks, meaning that they cannot find where their loved ones have been taken or if they're in the system at all. This blackout adds another layer of cruelty. It's the silence that follows with it. Under international law, this is defined as collective punishment. We continue to see the same tactics. Masked agents, out-of-state license plates, vehicles circling neighborhoods and work sites over and over again. Something that's meant to create fear and confusion. But the community is staying strong, documenting, protecting one another, and keeping watch. As of tonight, we are at about 25 confirmed detentions this week.
And in other Sur Califas news, according to KCRW.com, a raid conducted in early October targeted the notorious Rancho San Pedro gang, which is linked to the Mexican mafia in the Los Angeles Harbor area. The multi-agency operation resulted in charges against 19 individuals and the arrest of 13 alleged gang members. The multi-year investigation was led by the FBI, Los Angeles Police, LAPD, Notorious, and Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, with assistance from the California Department of Justice. Law enforcement personnel served 17 federal and state search and arrest warrants at various locations throughout San Pedro and Carson. Charges included drug trafficking, firearms trafficking, and extortion. The Rancho San Pedro RSP gang has an estimated 500 members divided into 6 subgroups or clicas. The multiple generational gang has operated in the San Pedro area since the 1970s and is allegedly controlled by Laeme. Members serving prison sentences who issued orders from behind Califas and Ali County jail bars. Of the 19 charged, 13 were taken into custody during the raids. 8 faced federal charges, while 5 faced state charges. 6 others named in the federal case were already in custody. Seizures: authorities confiscated firearms, ammunition, suspected fentanyl, methamphetamine, and marijuana. If convicted on the federal charges, many of the defendants face a maximum sentence of life in prison. In lighter news, Somos Familia Valle announces, "Hello community, one of the walls in our center is currently empty and we would like to do a French wall and have many framed pieces of art on our wall. If you are a queer trans artist or you are a community member who has an LGBTQ plus art piece they would like to donate, we would love it if you could help us create an affirming and colorful space for the queer and trans community in the San Fernando Valle. Art must be made by a LGBTQ plus artist. If you are interested, please fill out the Google form in our link tree or access it via the bit.ly link. Somos Familia Valle is a local LGBTQ plus community organization dedicated to support, empower, and mobilize families and allies for racial, gender, and economic justice in the San Fernando Valley, Califas. For more info, visit somosfamiliavalle.org. Y también en Noticias de San Fernando, Raza rallied in October last night due to ICE raids at the San Fernando Home Depot, where ICE agents not only kidnapped Raza, but threatened with violence and death to community members that were there recording and observing their brutal attack on our people. About 55 community members gathered to denounce these raids and violent threats on our community and are prepared to organize more throughout the Valle. For more information, check out Partido La Raza Unida on Instagram, La Raza Unida Party.sfv. And now, eventos en Aztlán. Eventos in Houston, Texaslan. Las Perras Cafe announces join us for our monthly workshop of readings and celebrations honoring our community, our stories, and those we remember. This Saturday, October 25th, we'll host Coffee_Perreo HTX Halloween edition from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Las Perras Cafe is a Latina-owned coffee roaster and cafe in Houston, Texas. For more information on Las Perras Cafe, go to lasperrascafe.com. And in Denver, October 25th, join Denver's Mexican Cultural Center in honoring the memories of our loved ones. Step into a world where tradition, art, and culture come alive at the 2025 Gala de Calaveras y Catrinas. This extraordinary Dia de Muertos Gala honors the memories of our loved ones while celebrating the vibrancy of life through an evening filled with exquisite Mexican cuisine, captivating performances, and stunning cultural displays held at the Cable Center on Saturday, October 25th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This event promises a multi-sensory experience paying tribute to our ancestors while embracing the beauty of Mexican traditions. From live music to artistic showcases, every moment is designed to immerse guests in the rich legacy of Dia de Muertos, all while raising money for the Mexican Cultural Center's annual programs. For tickets, visit mccdenver.org. Y en Nuevo Mexicaslán, Nuevo Mexico, Tewa Women United announces Tuesday, October 28th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Join us for our monthly intergenerational game night hosted by the Gender and Generational Healing Justice Program. We will play Coyote and Crow, a futuristic indigenous role-playing game, RPG. A delicious caramel apple bar will be served, fresh apples dipped in creamy caramel and topped with your favorite fall treats. This is a free event, and all local youth ages 10 and above and elders are warmly welcomed. If you have questions or would like to RSVP, please email Cristina C. at tewawomenunited.org. That's Cristina, ChristiinaChristiana, C at tewawomenunited.org. Located in the ancestral Tewa homelands of northern Nuevo Mexico, Tewa Women United is a multicultural and multiracial organization founded and led by Native women. The name Tewa Women United comes from the Tewa words "Widong Gimu," which can be translated as "We are one," in mind, heart, and in the spirit of love for all. For more info, visit tewawomenunited.org. Our camarada Andrea Martinez also reports desde Nuevo Mexicaslán with many hands. Roswell is getting ready for a public forum in Chavez County to discuss contested seats. Join them for 2 evenings of open discussion and community engagement as candidates share their vision for a vibrant Chavez County. These forums will focus on the contested seats in the upcoming municipal election. Dates and seats are Monday, October 27th, Wards 1 and 3, Tuesday, October 28th, Mayor and Wards 4 and 5. Location, Anderson Museum, Contemporary Art. Doors open at 5 p.m. The forum begins promptly at 5:30 p.m. These forums will feature meaningful candidates, discussion, Q&A, and audience participation, giving our community a chance to meet and learn about each candidate in person. Y también, if you can't attend in person, they will be live broadcasting the event, so everyone has the opportunity to listen, learn, and take part in shaping the community's future. Together with Many Hands, we can build a vibrant future. With Many Hands was born out of the belief that our future is only as strong as our local communities. We know that many of us are facing hard times. We also know that the most creative solutions will be found by investing in folks' lived wisdom. With Many Hands is here to support working people coming together in their towns to make good things happen. For more information, visit withmanyhands.org. Y un evento en San Pancho, San Francisco Califas. Lit Crawl will host Somos Chicanas, Chicanas for Tierra y Libertad, Saturday, October 25th, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Sycamore, 2140 Mission Street, San Francisco Califas. Arrive hungry for tasty eats and thirsty for delicious wine or beer. We'll see you soon. The event will feature our camarada Diosa Xochiquetzalcoatl, Diosa X, also Yesenia Chavez, Xochi Julisa Bermejo, Elizabeth Jimenez Montelongo, and Natalia Rivas. Somos Chicanas, Chicanas for Tierra y Libertad will be curated and moderated by La Chingona, Brenda Vaca of Riot of Roses Press. Y un evento en Los Ángeles, una anunciación desde Los Ángeles. Angelinos están invitados. Come come out to join us for the upcoming Centro CSO fundraiser. That's the Centro Chicano Self-Determination Organization. Once again, we are teaming up with our best coffee besties at Just Cafe Nina. This time we look to send 10 of our members to the National AARPR Conference in Chicago, November 14th to the 16th. Come through and join us during the early hours of 8 a.m. to noon on the 25th of October, Saturday. Our members will be selling Centro CSO merch, cochinita pibil tortas, which would pair beautifully with a cafecito from Cafe Nina, or Nina. Each purchase will include a raffle ticket for a chance to win some prizes. Our goal is $2,500, which will go to each CSO traveler and includes registration fees, lodging, food, and airfare. But if you're unable to attend the fundraiser, please consider making a donation to CSO on Zelle or Venmo. For further details, search on Instagram CSO. And from our camarada Chista Garcilaso desde Arizona Slan, if you're looking for free family-friendly Dia de Muertos events in Arizona, here you go. Dia de los Muertos Festival Spirits Connect. Join us at the Mesa Arts Center on Saturday, October 25th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, October 26th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the Dia de los Muertos Festival Spirits Connect. Enjoy live music, folklorical performances, community altars, art workshops, and food vendors, all celebrating life, memory, and culture. Admission is free. Para más información, visit the Mesa Arts Center webpage at mesaartscenter.com. También experience the Scottsdale, Arizona Dia de Muertos Fiestas this weekend in downtown Scottsdale's Civic Center, Old Town, as they host free art installations daily, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Fiesta de Muertos Festival on Saturday, October 25th, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., and the Dia de los Muertos procession at 7 p.m. That same evening, enjoy traditional music and dance, interactive altars, Caterina fashion contest, food, and crafts. Admission to the installations and festival is free. For more info on the Scottsdale Dia de los Muertos Fiestas, visit the webpage scottsdalediadelosmuertos.com. And also help celebrate heritage and remembrance at the 17th Annual Dia de los Muertos Festival presented by Ballet Folklorico Esperanza in the city of Avondale, Arizona. This free family-friendly event happens on Saturday, October 25th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Avondale Goodyear Farms Historic Cemetery, located at 3720 North Santa Fe Trail, Avondale 85392. Expect live music, entertainment, food trucks, arts and crafts vendors, and a community ofrenda where you can honor loved ones. Para más información, visit their webpage, balletfolkloricoesperanza.org. And once again, our camarada Andrea Martinez desde Nuevo Mexicaslan, New Mexico, would like those in Roswell to know the Food Not Bombs Roswell Division, a nonprofit under the umbrella of Hagerman Forward, serves food to those in need every Sunday at 1 p.m. and Thursday at 4 p.m. If you reside in the Roswell area and are in need of food, please contact Jocelyn Smith for more food distribution locations. She can be reached at 575-208-9509. Or you can visit their Facebook page, search Food Not Bombs Roswell NM. You can also visit foodnotbombs.net. Food Not Bombs Roswell, Nuevo Mexico is a community organization dedicated to feeding the hungry. They believe in providing nutritious meals to those in need rather than wasting food on bombs and violence. Volunteers prepare and serve meals in public spaces, fostering a sense of community and support. También our camarada Joe González desde Califas, La Resistencia Brown Berets Nacional y la Mesa Nacional de los Brown Berets, in conjunction with the North American School for Organizers and the Second Rainbow Coalition, invite you to join La Clecha Fireside Chats, revolutionary political education classes. Join them online to sit around the fire para una plática that looks forward to build structure within the movement of community organizers and learn about history, unity, and resistance. This is a weekly online event taking place via Zoom every Thursday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it is open to the public. For more info, visit naso.network. And now, Aslan Weekly presenta Palabra.
I'm Scott Russell Duncan, a Chicano writer and editor. My novel, Old California Strikes Back, just marked its one-year anniversary. It's been called a Chicano Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a mix of memoir and fantasy, tracing the myths of Mexican and native California and my own family story. It's published through Flower Song Press, and so ask for it at your local bookstore. Today, I'll be reading a short excerpt titled, My Heart is Bathed in Chilies. The first time I had real hot peppers, a part of me died. Home was virtually a pepper-free zone, as my Chicana mother only ate pickled jalapenos whose vinegar I found unappealing, and my white father made a pico de gallo he called hot sauce, which I would later call Anglo sauce. Yet I saw hot pepper consumption often, since I stayed every summer with my grandparents in L.A. We'd eat over at my Aunt Linda's, and everyone would dump hot sauce over everything at breakfast, and every time I would ask, is there any ketchup for me and my sister? Aunt Linda would look at me. I don't know, eyes wide. Hey, Rebecca, is there any ketchup left over from when you dated that guy, the gringo? You mean Steve? Yeah. My cousin Rebecca would then bring the year-old ketchup bought for some polite and terrified white boyfriend for our eggs or potatoes. All eyes would be on me and my sister in our ketchup shame. Grandma would stare at the globs on our plate and say, "You going to eat that?" My uncle would say, "I think they are." My sister, Clara, the tougher one, would glare back at our family saying, "We like ketchup." And then everyone would purse their lips and say, "We got to do something about how white you kids are." I met my chili pepper death after one of those ketchup shame breakfasts. I walked into the kitchen and saw my Uncle Joe sweating and holding on to the counter. He was eating chips and heaps of salsa. "Is it good?" I asked him. He wiped the side of his face. "Oh, it's good," he sputtered. "Your grandma made it." There is no place safer than a kitchen with my grandmother, and nothing more inert than the only homemade salsa that I knew, Dad's Anglo sauce. I ate some of Grandma's salsa, a big some. And then I thought I had slurped nail polish remover. It was like drinking the whiskey from the jar that held Joaquin Murrieta's head. And years later, when I saw the Crapola movie Interview with a Vampire and Brad Pitt gets bitten in the graveyard and yelps and the world goes gray before it becomes hyper rainbow real, I thought, hey, that's how eating my first hot peppers was. Vampirism must be easy. But then my first real hot pepper hit, the chilies took the slow bus down my throat and got off of my chest. I looked over at my grandmother, whose name Mercy seemed ironic, and asked, "Why, Grandma, why?" Grandma Mercy, washing a pot, called over, "Don't blame me, Scotty, your uncle likes it." I too held the edges of the counter, dreading the mass of chilies ever hitting my stomach. Yet the chilies never made it there, and instead settled in my heart. The chilies consumed the slow, vivid world, and then consumed my heart itself. And I loved them. My uncle patted my back, now as sweaty as his face. "We're burning the white boy out of you, mijo." And ever since then, chili peppers have been my vampire blood and air. And often my heart burned because of disappointments and indignations, but all the fires felt like chili pepper fire. Books I read seem to describe this burning. Seguin, the Tejano hero of the revolution, who was later robbed of everything by the very Texans he fought for, warned Chicanos that we would be treated as foreigners in our own land. Montezuma, writhing in his palace in Tenochtitlan, said better as an Aztec city fell under Cortez. My heart is bathed in chilies. Dissatisfied and disenfranchised hearts burn. My heart burns because 1846 has never ended. My heart burns because I'm still seen as a descendant of Cain, who we know from trash romance novels is our vampire father, but it really means I'm a native of Turtle Island. My heart burns because I've survived here, in the place of many fires, the dry kindling my homeland in Southwest. I've changed many to my side to chili vampirism. They sweated and burned as I had, till they saw the world anew with chili pepper eyes. If you love me, you love chili peppers. Montezuma's chili swishing heart, my own spicy heart.
And now, shout out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Ramirez. Welcome to Aslan Weekly. I'm super excited. I get to jump on here and talk about my passion, and that is books. So about 5 years ago, started this club called the Brown Book Club. If you've never heard of it, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're kind of trying to put things out there wherever we can. But the group is primarily based off of Facebook. So what's it all about? Who are we? Where did we start? Essentially, back in 2020, we all know those were crazy times. We had COVID. It was a very politically heated moment in time. People were protesting. It was just, there was fear in the air. There was uncertainty in the air. It was kind of like it is now, honestly, right? except we weren't allowed to go outside and people were going crazy. So I always turn to books, art, reading, culture in those times, And so I said, hey, I'm going to start a little book club. Anyone that might be interested, I threw it out there on Facebook. And I was thinking it would just be, me and a few friends, a few local people here in the Denver area. And it just I feel like a lot of people were feeling the same way. One of the members once told me, it's like, I think at that time we were all just kind of reaching out, looking for community. And that's what happened. Just hundreds of people turned to thousands of people. And here we are 5 years later with thousands and thousands of members all over the country, all over the world. And it's just been a beautiful thing, right? We're focused on Chicano riders and Latino riders, indigenous riders, and it's just been so great. We get to come together, talk about our history, our culture. There's that cliche of, we don't know where we're going if we don't know where we've been. Although it's a cliche, it's so true. The more we understand where we come from, the better we are to go out and participate in the world, this very political world of ours. And so it's just been amazing. We read novels, we read poetry, nonfiction, but mostly it's for entertainment. There are times when I just want to go hard on Chicano literature and let's talk about the movement and let's get revolution. And
being Mexican American is tough. Anglos jump all over you if you don't speak English perfectly. Mexicans jump all over you if you don't speak Spanish perfectly. We've got to be twice as perfect as anybody else. Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
Nothing.
I'm serious. Our family has been here for centuries, and yet they treat us as if we just swam across the Rio Grande. I mean, we got to know about John Wayne and Pedro Infante. We got to know about Frank Sinatra and Agustin Lara. We got to know about Oprah and Christina. Anglo food is too bland, and yet when we go to Mexico, we get the runs. Now, that to me is embarrassing.
No, Dad!
Japanese Americans, Italian Americans, German Americans, their homeland is on the other side of the ocean. Ours is right next door, right over there. And we got to prove to the Mexicans how Mexican we are, and we got to prove to the Americans how American we are. We got to be more Mexican than the Mexicans and more American than the Americans, both at the same time. It's exhausting. Man, nobody knows how tough it is to be a Mexican American.
But honestly, guys, it's just, let's get together, let's read some novels, and let's laugh. Let's talk with other members about our families. That character reminds me of my tia, my abuelita. It's that kind of a group where you become family right away. And our moderators, the leaders in the group, have been just amazing. They make it all possible. And we're always looking for more leaders. We're always looking to spread out. Not only are we online, we have our online presence, but we are starting to have micro book clubs all over the country, with the same, the Brown Book Club LA, the Brown Book Club Denver, the Brown Book Club Chicago, wherever you are, right? Start your own chapter. Let's focus on culture, community through books, literature, literacy, reading, education. That's what we're all about. I appreciate Aslan Weekly for giving me the chance to talk about it. Obviously, it's my baby. You guys have a great rest of your week. Everybody take care.
And we at Aslan Weekly would like to make a special shout out to Scott Duncan for sharing sus palabras for our Palabra segment. And another special shout out to Hennessy Pedro Parker desde Houston, Tejaslan. And once again, our camarada Veronica Ali El would like to give a shout out to all Raza who are in any way contributing to building locally in their communities, and an invite to join El Partido Nacional de la Raza Unida to build national political power. If interested, visit razaunidaparty.org. And finally, Aslan Weekly would like to hear from you, Raza. If you reside anywhere in Aslan and would like to share newsworthy events with us, or if you would like to make a special shout out to familia, friends y queridos, or an organization serving our community, or if you would like to share your thoughts, shoot us an email at news@aslanweekly.com. Or you can visit our website at aslanweekly.com. And you can also find us on social media. Search Aslan Weekly. Gracias. Que viva la raza y que viva Slang Libre. Es todo.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.